Hi guys, welcome to Blood, Sweat and Beers, a podcast presented by Sports Khabri on football, Premier League, FPL, everything related to football. Today we have with us Rahul Saha, Rahul Naresh, and we are joined here by Aditya Chaudhary, who is a correspondent with Sports Khabri. Unfortunately, today we couldn't have Ali with us and Anshuman also with us. It's got nothing to do with the fact that both of them are United fans. They are all perfectly fine. They're doing well, and it took some time, but they are over the shock. So it's not because of that. They are busy doing something else, busy occupied with better things than Manchester United. And I do these, you know why I do this? So that मैं अपने आप को ही अपनी लेग खुद ही पुल कर लूं ताकि तुम लोग मेरे पीछे ना पड़ो. But our boss lady Akshata was feeling sad for me. She thought I'll be lonely today, taking the banter from these two Rahuls, these two Arsenal fans. So she has been kind enough to lend Aditya Chaudhary to us, who's also a fellow United fan. Aditya, welcome to our podcast. It's all going to be fine, brother. Don't worry. I'm here. We'll take the banter together.
Thank you so much, and I'm excited to be on here. I've followed the first couple of episodes. It's really interesting. So yeah, I mean, this is a positive, and especially for us United fans, it's been kind of a down. It's been kind of negative for last couple of weeks.
Koi nahi, it happens. So the two Rahuls, I can feel your excitement and your happiness. फाड़ दो, बोल दो, निकाल दो जो भी अंदर है.
Rahul, you want to go first?
Oh my God!
No,
Rahul,
I'll
you
let,
wanna go
let you
first?
have the stage first.
Oh my God!
Oh, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the season ahead. It's been a long time since we felt like this. It was a great performance. I think even when Leicester got back in the game, we were always on top. We always looked the more likely to score. We looked threatening. We created a lot of chances. Jesus should have had a hat trick. Everything's looking good. So far, so good. I don't want injuries. That's it. Otherwise, looks good.
Yeah, life's very good as an Arsenal fan. 2 out of 2 wins. Gabriel Jesus with 4 goal contributions. But 2 goals conceded. That's a bit of a downer. Like the first one, and Williams Saliba 1 goal, you can't do anything about it. The second goal, I was furious with both Gabriel and Ramsdale. I think we should have done better there, and there was not a second goal in a hell's chance. So yeah, apart from that, very good. We have Bournemouth coming up next. Should on paper should be a good win. So I'm hopeful of that. And like just before the show started, I was talking with Rahul, and as I mentioned to him that since the 2004-5 season, we haven't started in any league campaign. We haven't started our first 3 games. So this could be a first in many years for Mikel Arteta as well. While and other than yeah, life's good.
That's great. So, guys, let's. So, what was? Let me start by asking, which was your game of the week for this week?
Should I go for it?
Yeah,
So
Rahul.
for me, I think it's a toss up between the Chelsea Spurs game and the United game. So again, I think I'd go for the Chelsea Spurs game because it's a really tight game. We got an equalizer towards the dying minutes of the game. Chelsea dominated for most of the game, but yeah, Spurs showed some great came back. A lot of drama in the game, so it was really interesting. So for me, that's the pick of the week. United with the United game was a close second for me.
Why? Why? Why can't we just forget?
I mean,
Look,
let's
Shweta,
hope.
yeah, gone.
No, I'm just hoping. Let's hope they turn it around against Liverpool.
Yes, Rahul.
And
This
yeah,
is
like
your.
yeah, I was just going to add that, like, for people like us who grew up on the, Arsenal Manchester United rivalry, like, this is a, a moment of, moment of rejoice, as Arsenal fans. So, we are happy to see you in this place because we were there too. So yeah. Other than that, it's what can I say? Like, you guys have a protest planned, I think, for this upcoming game week. But and there have been a lot of rumors about the club getting sold. So let's be hopeful that it gets sold in the near future. Like, the sooner the better for you guys, because I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, at least for Man United. And the Spurs versus Chelsea match, my oh my, what a you know blockbuster of a game, at least on the touch line. The in terms of football on the pitch, like, Tuchel totally outplayed Conte hands down. Like, I was really very impressed with how he set up his team and dominated Spurs. But yeah, Conte also, we know he's resilient. So yeah, he fought back. So yeah, that was a great game. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, a lot of things to take from the game week. And apart from that, Liverpool was a big letdown. I feel like they created loads of chances. They went a man down. Despite that they dominated the game, still it ended as a 1-1. So yeah, and I predicted them to win the league. So yeah, it's coming to back bite me in the back,
Yeah, I
as you
think
can see.
I think as usual, United is taking away Liverpool's thunder because
Yeah, yeah.
if United was not doing that bad, I'm sure Liverpool's form would have been in notice this week. But anyway, Aditya, which was your game
Shweta,
of the
Shweta,
week?
just
Yeah.
one thing. Yeah, if you look at it on paper, the upcoming United versus Liverpool match is a relegation six-pointer. Can you believe that?
Oh my God! You're just cold. You're
Liverpool
in
are on
form,
2 points.
Rahul.
United haven't opened their account. Wow, what a
You're
world
just
we're
in
living in.
form. I mean, you guys, I hope whoever is listening to us don't get mistaken by what Rahul Saha is saying right now. You need to hear the sheer enjoyment in his voice. He's not saying it out of concern. He's not saying it out of any goodwill. His intentions are not correct right now. He is totally enjoying himself. He actually wants this to be a relegation dogfight. He can't wait for the end of the season where Liverpool are 19th and United is on 20th. He's just enjoying himself. But okay, we give you that, Rahul. We give you that. It's been a long time coming. Aditya, which was your match of the week?
Well, I got to agree with both of them. I really enjoyed the Spurs Chelsea game. That was full of action right from the start, on the pitch and right off it too. But another game which I enjoyed was the Arsenal game. I think Arsenal this season are beginning to look a little bit more fluent, as you say. I think Jesus has been a really good signing for them. So they are really doing well. So I think the Arsenal game also was, they had lots of goals. So I was that was one match which I enjoyed, and obviously the Chelsea and Spurs game was this thing. I think Chelsea were a little bit unfortunate with some of the decisions, but I mean, as a someone watching from the third point, this thing and not supporting either of them, it was a nice match to enjoy.
That's absolutely
Aditya, you
true. In
can say
fact,
the truth. They were robbed. You can say the
Yeah.
truth. No one's going to come after you.
Yeah, some of the decision making was very dicey. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of
When
action the FA
when
will
you
take
have
against.
Anthony Taylor and Mike Dean officiating, well, both of these referees officiating in the same game, what else can you expect?
no, but it's
I've,
funny. I don't know if you guys know about this, but there's a petition going on by Chelsea fans against Anthony Taylor.
Yeah,
They filed a petition. It already, last time I checked, it had some 38,000 signs, I think, which says that they don't want Anthony Taylor to be officiating the Chelsea games because of whatever has happened the last few seasons. Funny. But anyway, but even Chelsea Tottenham was my pick of the game week also, not just because of the match, because like Rahul Naresh rightly put, it was a blockbuster on the touchline. In fact, after the whistle, the way Tuchel just kept holding his hand and Conte, the Italians and the Germans, my friends, Italians and the Germans in England, full fire. Like, this is This was something else. Like just looking at Conte's face, especially with Conte's history with Chelsea, like I saw this visual of Aspilicueta coming up there, talking to him, and Conte just firing away with against him, almost as if he's just talking to his own man who's got Chelsea a lot of glory. 2 cups in 2 seasons. It was amazing. So it was like a brutal homecoming for him and Tuchel. Obviously, that German fire was all there to see.
And
Yeah, I
it was
think
very uncharacteristic of him as well. Like you don't see Thomas Tuchel, being so hyped up on the touch line. So like that was the first for me.
Rahul, do you think Conte got onto his nerves or something?
Yeah, I think Conte got under his skin, but I think if you look at it closely, I think Conte himself was the instigator of that because see, in the first half, his team was totally outplayed. He had no answers to it. Only after I think he brought on his 3 substitution. I think he brought on Bissouma, Richarlison, who was like he didn't contribute much, but his movement created nuisance for the Chelsea backline. And with that, and as the fouls were with Richarlison, the fouls were flying in. So then the decision started going against him, and as we know, Conte he started riling up Thomas Tuchel, and we all saw the end result.
Yeah. So, guys, let's have a look at the results from the previous week, game week 2, and just let's just have a brief talk about this. Like what you guys felt. So we started off with Aston Villa against Everton, and Aston Villa obviously won the match 2-1. Any thoughts on that, Aditya?
yeah. So Everton, I don't know what's happening with them. They're really struggling. So it's been like tough for Frank Lampard. And I mean, the talk of currently, I think Dele Alli's might leave, might not leave. I don't know. There's a lot of, I think, issues on and off the field for Everton. So I mean, it wasn't really surprising that Aston Villa got a better of them. So yeah, I mean, Everton like are really struggling. I don't see like any particular section where they are strong. I think it's been like from the front of the field to back of the field. It's a real struggle for them.
That's actually, in our very first preview podcast, Frank Lampard was our favorite to be sacked first as the first Premier League manager this season. It might still happen because Everton is really in a very bad shape. Guys, there was one game which I don't know, I think it flew under the radar after whatever the major talking points of the week on which we'll come. But Southampton versus Leeds United. Leeds was leading 2-0, and Southampton came back from 2 goals down to equalize, and they took 1 point from the game. Rahul Naresh, what are your views on this match?
Yeah, I think both these teams are completely open teams. You're going to have games that when where Leeds and Southampton are involved. It was quite interesting that this game week had them playing each other, but in general, going forward, games involving Leeds and Southampton are going to be very open. It's just the nature of how the teams play and how they set up. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So fair enough. I think.
Both managers are also like people managers who are accustomed to the German school of pressing, and they have much. Brighton versus Newcastle. I wanted to talk to Rahul Saha regarding this because Brighton and Newcastle are two teams which Saha has really been praising this season. And even in the last podcast, Rahul was telling me how since Eddie Howe has come in, Newcastle has become a different force altogether, and it is there for all of us to see. But a stalemate, Rahul. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, Newcastle got really lucky with their stalemate. Like, Brighton were all over them. Like, if they have anyone to thank, they have Nick Pope to thank. He pulled off quite a few great saves. I think, like, the underlying stats also, would reflect there. I think Brighton had an XG of 1.9 something, whereas Newcastle had an XG of 0.2. So, like, this is how, Graham Potter with his team nullified a good Newcastle side. So this is what I was saying. Like, although Newcastle are very good at home, they are not so formidable away from home. You can break them down because you see, as of now, Newcastle have a very good playing 11, and when playing at home they have the crowd behind them, so it gets them going. However, when you are traveling on the road and you can't dictate the tempo of the game, this is where Eddie Howe's team is still struggling. So a few signings might do him a world of good, like in the midfield or and in the attacking front. Apart from that, yeah, defensively both of them are sound, and Brighton are looking more impressive than Newcastle in my opinion. But yeah, lack of finishers is what's holding them back. Like they have Dennis Under, but they'll have to quickly bed him in if they are to challenge for that sixth or seventh European spot.
Hmm. So, do you see any transfers happening for Newcastle or Brighton this season?
Like
Like
Newcastle
anytime
can
soon?
pull off, yeah, Newcastle can pull off one or two. Like there have been, murmurs in the transfer market that they might, get another midfielder in. However, for that to happen, they also need to offload another one or two players because, like as we were discussing in the past podcast, that although they have the wealthiest owners in the world, the financial fair play restricts them on going on a spending spree. So yeah, in order to get in one or two signings, even a shrewd piece of businesses, they at the they first need to offload one or two players. So
Hmm.
yeah, they are one to keep an eye on.
And guys, what do you have to say about the Wolves versus Fulham match? Do you think it was a point lost for Wolves? Because
Mitrovic should have seen a red. Like he almost headbutted Morgan Gibbs White, and he still got away with it. This is the level of refereeing we have in the Premier League as of now.
yeah, but anyway, but in
Did you guys
spite of
see it?
that, and I missed it. I missed it completely. I think I'll have to watch it again. Rahul, Naresh,
And
did
No,
you?
no,
and
no.
he missed a penalty also, Mitrovic.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I think that's they have Jose Sa to thank for that point. Uh, yeah,
And
Jose Sa was also. Yeah.
yeah, Wolves also like had few chances. Like Pedro Neto missed an open goal. Like he was one on one with the keeper. He rounded the keeper, then had an open goal and still missed the goal. So yeah, the result could have gone either way. But I think like at the end of the day, a stalemate was a justifiable result for both teams.
And obviously, like Aditya just mentioned about the missed penalty, but I think Jose Sa was like just diverting from the topic a little bit. But in our FPL podcast, we're just discussing how Jose Sa actually gave us a lot of points. Like Sa was a top performer, one of the top performers of the week. Let's move on to the next match. Of course, the one of the matches of the one of the talking points of the week has been Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, because two games against like not the top 10 teams and 4 points lost.
yeah, absolutely. I think this is. To be fair to Liverpool, they did create a lot of chances. They just didn't take them. They should have been one or two up. Nunez had a few chances in the first half before Zaha scored, and even after he scored, I think he had a couple of chances before halftime. So they should well and truly have been ahead. They just didn't take their chances, and then after that, he went on to make a silly mistake. He headbutting another person is obviously not taken very lightly these days. You see red for that, a fair red card, and then things go downhill. Luis Diaz scores a worldie of a goal, and you have him to thank for that point. I think Zaha was through a few times. He should have scored another. To be fair, Liverpool probably got a little lucky after the red card to get away with the point.
But I mean, you called it a silly mistake, but Aditya, do you think that really was a silly mistake, or it was just you know
It
something
was a
because the kind
defending
of
masterclass.
yeah, exactly, that was a
It was
mistake
a
which
defending
was
masterclass.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to ask Aditya. Like it was provoked, it was totally provoked, but you don't fall for these provocations in a level like a Premier League, right, Aditya?
Yes, absolutely. I think maybe rush of blood, and it's his first time in the Premier League, the biggest stage. So maybe I don't know, nerves could be, but yeah, I mean it's you don't expect that from professional players. It was dumb, if I can say that. But yeah, Liverpool, I think both the games till now have been a bit wasteful, and if they are off the top of the table, it's completely up to them. They've not like taken their chances yet, and I mean, they have to start realizing that they can't do this and get away for long. Because I mean, the way City is going, they're not going to stop for anyone. So either Liverpool get back onto the
So
path,
like
or like
you're
it's going to.
you're absolutely right, Aditya, because I think all of you will agree with me when I say like City won 4-0 against Bournemouth. But what is there to talk about, about that match? Like it was a walk in the park for them. We all expected it. In fact, if there's something we can talk about regarding that match is Erling Haaland's 8 touches. That was the talking point coming out of that game. That shows City's dominance over the league over the past few years and what was expected out of this match. I don't see any other talking point out of from it.
Uh,
Do you guys,
Phil
Rahul?
Foden, yeah, Phil Foden getting subbed up at halftime. And you know why? Because he did not square Hurling Haaland in for that goal. Like he was open in front of the three City players in front of the goalkeeper, and still did not square the ball to Haaland. Like Pep was furious with him, and he subbed him off at halftime. So that's a talking point. So in terms of like also FPL, because like if Pep might drop him for the next game just to teach him a lesson to be a team player more and not to be uh, individualistic, let's say. So yeah, that's a talking point for me
But
because he
Rahul,
also he did, yeah, go on.
no, no, I was just going to ask Rahul Naresh about Haaland's performance, because obviously me and you had a conversation on this on our FPL podcast, obviously. But I wanted to get Rahul Naresh's view on Haaland's 8 touch performance. Like, do you think it is a temporary blip, or this is something that could probably go on?
To be very fair, I didn't catch the game because it was the same time as the Arsenal game. But I did watch the highlights. I think even if Haaland gets 5 touches in the game, and if they're in dangerous positions, he's going to put away goals. That's the nature of the game, like for strikers especially. Even if he, even if his teammates put him in good positions and he has a few touches, they're probably and the way City play, you're probably likely to get a tap in, and that's your one touch. So I'd still say keep Haaland. If you have him, Nunez now again. We let's. I think it's still too early in the season to really decide on either striker. So again, 8 touches for me. It's just a one-off game,
Hmm.
and yeah, you should probably wait on it. Like I said, I didn't catch the game, so I'm not going to comment too much on this.
But just coming back to Aditya, because he was talking about how City is just running away right now from Liverpool. But that is City. I mean, City is a well-oiled machine. We all know that, and they haven't had a blip for probably now 2, 3 seasons now, 2 seasons to be precise. But what do you think about Liverpool? Like we've seen Liverpool having these small blips every now and then. Like even last season, their start wasn't that good, and then they went on that lengthy run. Not their start exactly, but their just before the mid-season phase. And this time we see that they're starting so bad. Do you think this could be a trend, or it is just something which is just a thing for now, and from here the season is going to start for them?
I think it could be like just a slow start for them. I mean, if you look at it, they've got a couple of new players, so maybe it's just getting the system well oiled, gelling with each other. So maybe like I don't expect Liverpool to be on a lean run for too long. But I mean, they themselves know that they can't afford to like have these 1-1 draws anymore.
Saha, what do you think? What do you think Salah and Co are up to?
Yeah, I think like their upcoming game against United is the like the best game to get them fired up and get them ready for the season. Like I yeah, sorry for that, but yeah, that's the harsh reality. Like you can't have a better game to to kickstart your season, to have your arch nemesis in front of you in their own backyard. So like they would want to go there and like the other teams want to make a statement and like announce to the world that yeah, we mean business. Like we had few blips, but we now mean business, and yeah, we are now going to push on from here. So
But
that's
the
what I would say.
the funny part is, ek to I got carried away. I forgot Liverpool's next match is against United. I shouldn't have asked this question, but I did, and I got the response I deserved. But the funny part which I can take out from this is, even if Liverpool feel that this is the place where they can, their season can start and we can show we mean business, they thrash United 6-0. People will be like, कि भाई ये तो कर लिया, अब
Yeah,
season कब start करोगे? ये तो होना ही था. This is the kind of form United are in right now. Like, even if Liverpool beat them 6-0, people will be like, so what? Play the serious teams now. That's the condition. I mean, it's just sad reality. And but I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. In fact,
but you know, Shwetaabh,
just to,
yeah. Just to add one more thing that on this Liverpool pit is that like although like Liverpool have dropped points against Fulham and Crystal Palace, like I expect also like teams like Chelsea and Manchester City to drop points against similar oppositions. Like we at the end of the day we are all forgetting that this is a marathon. At the end of the day, this is not a sprint. So this is 38 games. The teams will drop points. No one has ever gone on a stretch of like 35 wins and just 2 draws and a defeat in league
no, no,
campaign.
no, no.
That is not sustainable.
You're absolutely right. But I'm just talking about like what we have seen in the previous two seasons from City,
Mhm.
especially. City has been touching 100 points, and
But
City
they
has
don't
been
have
like,
the depth, right? This season, they're
well, that
also
is, yeah, that is.
due to lose Bernardo Silva.
Well, I hope they do. I hope they lose Bernardo Silva. Trust me, no one is going to be happier than me if anything goes wrong with City. But because I'm an old school guy, I still believe that there were only four big clubs in the Premier League. That was United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea. Chelsea was a late joiner, but still, and City.
Mhm.
I mean, I just can't. I'll be very happy if something happens to them. But anyway, uh, coming back to the forbidden topic. uh, I mean, it's only my job. That's why I'm bringing it up. Otherwise, I don't. I won't want to talk about this. And Aditya can relate with me. But stay strong, brother. In this next segment, when we talk about the 4-0 thrashing of Manchester United, and I really miss Ali in this moment, just so that I can see his face. But the less I speak, the better. I would like Rahul, the two Rahuls, the only two happy people here in this podcast, to share their views.
I think it
Just
was
one thing before
yeah,
they get started. At the start, when you were talking about Arsenal's game, Rahul Saha was talking about when Ramsdale made that mistake. He said like they shouldn't have scored. What would you do if you were a United fan and you saw De Gea let in that first goal?
Okay, two. Then the second one.
Yeah. It was like
We had Burnley, Leno.
Shambar.
Yeah. This is why. So sorry. This is why I like football. Because you see, De Gea made those blunders. Two blunders. United concede four. He still comes out to give an interview that and takes responsibility of his mistake. But Viola, Dean Henderson, on loan at Nottingham Forest, clean sheet, penalty save. I say, oh, this is why you love football. Where one keeper that, and I believe like Dean Henderson would also be like coming back to United because he didn't even give a chance to Eric Ten Hag to to test if himself to test if like he is able to challenge for the number one role because ever since De Gea has joined the United team, like for the past 10 years, he has been the de facto number one. Whether he's pulling in world class saves or he's been making these blunders for the past 3 seasons. Like you had good keepers like Romero, who was the Argentine number one. Like he was a great keeper, but Manu just didn't give him a chance. So yeah, so this is why it makes us happy because you had your solutions in front of you but you still opt to not to take them like Dean Henderson. Like if you are trying to build up from the back, Dean Henderson is the perfect solution, right? But at the start of the season you loan him out. You have you if we and yeah I get the part that he also didn't want to stick around because he didn't get the opportunities that you would have liked in the past seasons gone by. But as a high as a as the management team, as the director of footballs and whatever. So as those people, it is your duty, to integrate those people back into a system. If you think that they are going to add something to your team, something to your play. So yeah, this is something I wanted to point out
I think
regarding that
no, no, no,
goalkeeper situation.
Rahul. See. There's a lot of merit to what you're saying, and I mean, I have some counters to that. But the thing is that if we start only talking about the mismanagement of United, we actually need another complete podcast for it, a different episode,
Yeah,
because there is so much, and it's crazy. Like, it's crazy how it's just come to this point where we're talking about relegation fights. We're like actually the 20th team in the Premier League right now. And there's a lot going wrong behind the scene. And even on this Dean Henderson thing, like United fans were crying out for the loan to be cancelled all of a sudden. Obviously, a knee-jerk reactions and panic reactions and things like that. And a more clearer picture will come as the season emerges. But it's just sickening what is happening. Ronaldo suddenly coming out and saying, 2 weeks I'm going to give you the answers. What are you waiting for? What 2 weeks are we waiting for here? But anyway, like I said, it's going to be a different podcast. Probably we can have a different episodes just on this. And Rahul, what was your view on the 4-0, Naresh?
Yeah, I think first of all, like Aditya and Rahul pointed out, De is probably not the keeper that United need under Ten Hag. If you're going to play out from the back, you need a keeper who's comfortable on the ball, whose distribution is much better. Somebody like a Robert Sanchez from Brighton, for instance. Yeah, you need keepers who can play out from the back, and that mistake obviously did not help him. United didn't look great. Um, I do not see United beating Liverpool at home. Yeah, I think it's a steep hill to climb from here for United.
Well, I think like Rahul mentioned that this could be a kickstart for Liverpool. I mean, I don't know. You just have to be optimistic and hopeful as a fan. But honestly, I also don't see Liverpool. No, sorry, United beating Liverpool. But just in case they do, and it's going to be a miracle because there has still not been any transfers. I don't think any transfers are going to happen before that game. There won't be any registration so that they can play this current squad, this current team. They're not going to beat Liverpool, but just in case they do, it could kickstart their season. It could suddenly things could be rosier for them because suddenly they'll be above Liverpool in the standings. Uh, I know I mean it's not, there's a 1% chance of that happening, but let's see. Uh, uh, let's just see the fixtures for the coming week, and then I would like to ask Aditya which his fixture of the week is for the coming week. Which game is he most looking forward to? And I'm sure in better times it would have been Liverpool versus United, but I'm sure you're not looking forward to that game.
No, no,
Let's
not
have the
one bit.
Yeah, even neither am I. Let's have the fixtures on, please. So we start the week with Tottenham versus Wolves, which is on 20th at 5 p.m. And then we have Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa at 7:30. Again on Saturday, Everton versus Nottingham Forest on 7:30. Fulham versus Brentford. Leicester City versus Southampton. Both the games Saturday 7:30. We'll be closing our game week, the first day of game week 3, with Bournemouth versus Arsenal at 10 p.m. And then we start off the kickoff on Sunday with Leeds United versus Chelsea. A very interesting game. West Ham versus Brighton at 6:30, and then Newcastle versus Manchester City at 9 p.m. And then obviously we have Monday Night Football with Manchester United versus Liverpool at 12:30 a.m. So I'll start with Aditya. Aditya, which is your game of the week?
Uh, so it's Manchester club, but it's not United. I'm looking for the City Newcastle game. So there are a couple of things which I really like found interesting in the previous game a week for City. One was obviously Haaland had, like, I wouldn't say a lot of impact, but he had, like, whatever small amount of, like, we spoke about the 8 touches. One thing he showed was he's very physically strong. I think the one assist he set up, he was like holding off a couple of people. So I think Haaland is someone that City can, like, I mean, it can be a one of the best signings for them in the recent future. So Haaland's, I'm looking forward to him finally clicking, and him clicking with De Bruyne is going to be like really interesting. So that is one, and also I mean you can look at it as the Middle Eastern derby because both clubs are now owned by
Yeah,
Middle Eastern owners. So Newcastle, if they want to, like after their new takeover owner, if they want one club to build their blueprint on its city, so they have everything there. So I'm looking forward to the City Newcastle game. I mean, I would have said United Liverpool, but that's just going to be a lot of pain there.
yeah, that's actually a new twist to the Newcastle versus City games now with the oil money brought in. Rahul Saha, which is your game of the week?
Yeah, my game of the week is West Ham against Brighton. Look, West Ham had lost both their first fixtures, against City and then Nottingham Forest. So this is a must-win game for them against a Brighton side who are very resolute, at least defensively. While on their day they can score 2 or 3 goals. So yeah, this will be like a big test for David Moyes and his side. And I'll be, watching them simply because I think after two defeats, this could be the time where he integrates both, Mikel Antonio and Skamaka in the same starting 11. So this is why I'm very, looking forward to that game. And yeah, I talked about the Newcastle against Man City game in the previous section, so I think I won't touch on that more. Apart from that, Everton, Nottingham Forest is a relegation scrap again for me, like 6 pointer. Aditya just said, like that said in the previous section that Everton look poor. However, like in my opinion, like they look better than most teams. Like the only pressing issue for them, in my opinion, is that they don't have a striker. Like Dominic Calvert-Lewin is injured. Rondon, you can't just trust him. Other than that, they don't have anyone up front. Like in the past game, they were like playing Anthony Gordon as their false nine, so you can't rely on him as to lead your line. So like if they can set up their system in a way, I think they can uh, you know get a result against Forest. But Forest themselves, have added good players like Emmanuel Dennis and a few more. So this is a completely new squad. And we saw in the last game against West Ham that the cohesion is coming. They are getting the Steve Cooper is slowly getting a tune out of them. So yeah, this is also another game I will be looking forward to. So yeah, so West Ham against Brighton and Everton against Nottingham Forest are my two picks because they will play a significant role further down the line in this Premier League campaign. These four teams.
And Rahul Naresh, for the when if we speak about the big six teams, which teams do you think out of the big six are in Liverpool here because it's obviously a top six battle, or it used to be. But for the other teams, which teams do you think are in for a rough night?
Tottenham Wolves certainly looks tasty to me. It looks very. It seems like an interesting game. Tottenham did not look good against Chelsea at all, so it'll be really interesting to see them come up against a resolute Wolves side. But apart from them, I would have agreed with Rahul Saha. I think West Ham Brighton would have been a good game, but I think Brighton are favourites to win this one. West Ham did not look good at all against Nottingham Forest. So, in my opinion, these are the two games I'd be looking at. From a top six point of view, I'd look at the Tottenham game against Wolves.
So I think obviously if we go by the like how it used to be, United and Liverpool is the biggest aim. Obviously, the where the eyeballs are going to be. Uh, any surprise element you guys think would happen here?
Like if
For
United park the bus against Liverpool, they might, can nick a goal and then somehow get a draw or even nick a 1-0 smash and grab win.
Okay,
However, like
okay. Let me
with
let me
Eric
let
Ten
me
Hag, I don't see that.
exactly. So let me just change the question a bit, because both these clubs are struggling in a way. Like, from Liverpool's lofty standards, the previous two matches have not gone like that. What kind of changes do you guys think the both the managers might be doing in terms of formations or personnel? And I'll just start with Aditya Chaudhary here. Do you see any massive changes coming? Any surprises in that sense?
Uh, to be honest, I don't know where Ten Hag can go currently. To like with the squad he has, it doesn't seem like. So I mean, obviously we spoke about United's issues, and over the recent past, what's happened is United have made temporary solution fixes which has affected them. So I don't see any like formation wise how they can, like Rahul Saha said, if they can park the bus. I don't think United have a squad or 11 to play that kind of football or parking the bus. I think eventually Liverpool can break them down. I mean, on the counter it's going to be very tough, especially with the speed. If you look at, I don't think we have anyone to who can hold them out. So I
And
mean, for United, yeah.
no, go on, Aditya, go on. Sorry.
Okay, no. So yeah, I mean, for United, I mean, best option would be like, I think even a 1-0 or 2-0 loss is should be taken as a positive at this point.
Mr. Naresh, are there any big changes you see happening?
Nothing, not really for Liverpool, apart from the fact that they're going to lose Nunez for this game. Um, I'd say the same midfield. I think they were pretty. I don't think they need to change anything. They were really good against in the first half against Palace. They just didn't take their chances. From a United point of view, you're short of options. You don't really, where are you going to go search? There is nothing you can really do with this United side at the moment.
No, I have a couple of changes in mind, but Saha, what do you think? Should I just go ahead with my changes and then you want to comment, or you want to go on with your surprises first? If there is
Yeah,
any
like
surprise you see.
I like recently read a few tweets from reputed journalists saying that the noises coming out of the United dressing room is that like the prominent players in the dressing room, they are asking for the manager to set up his team in a pragmatic way for the Liverpool game. And I think as a United fan you are very well aware of that there have been certain team leaks in the media by the players themselves, like for example say the
Yeah, yeah,
Rashford,
yeah, yeah,
Greenwood
yeah.
and such players. So, yeah. So these are the rumors that have been coming out from the dressing room, that the players are not, the players are think that they aren't equipped well to, play Eric Ten Hag's way, and they would want the, the manager to approach, to take a more pragmatic approach for the Liverpool game and for the, future games for the club as well, because they can't, sustain this high pressing system with Ten Hag. So like this is really shambolic if you ask me.
I
If
mean,
the
this whole like I said, this whole thing is shambolic. Like the club is shambolic right now. There are different leaks coming. There are different news is coming. In the last 2 days, I have heard 15 names, which for the as a transfer interest.
the
The
transfer
team moves
limits, yes.
from one player to the other player. Like within a couple of hours, you move from one to other. Like it started with Rabiot. It's come down to Felix. It's all over the place. So I don't want to talk about
Matheus
that, but let's
Cunha
talk
in
about.
between.
Sorry, Rahul, I just lost you.
Matheus Cunha in between on 50
Well,
million. It
they're
was
coming
going
back.
around yesterday.
Yeah, they're coming. It's still on. It's still on. They're still talking about that the deal could happen, and
Mhm.
Anthony's name still keeps popping. The funniest thing is that now people are saying now Anthony doesn't might not want to join United after seeing what is happening. That is the state we are in. But anyway, let's not talk about what is happening outside the field. I wanted to just get back to what's on the field. I have a certain suggestions for Ten Hag. Like being a fan, I think. Uh, I mean, we at this point, you got nothing to lose except for Ten Hag's job. Like Ten Hag's job might be online, not so soon, not by these three defeats, but it can just keep piling on the pressure. So at this point, I think he should be doing the kind of things he was doing at Ajax, And I think he should just remove Maguire and Martinez both from the lineup. He should start with Varane and Lindelof. Varane is still a world class defender when he's fit. Lindelof has been more consistent than Maguire. Martinez needs time to, get initiated into the Premier League. In fact, if you want to play Martinez, play him as your defensive midfielder. He's got more
Exactly.
attitude. Play him as your defensive midfielder. Then you have the space for Ericsson, Fernandes to play as the two creative midfielders. Then you have your Elanga, Sancho, Ronaldo, Rashford. If Marshall, I don't think is going to be fit for this game also. And I don't know why. If even after if Ronaldo is creating problems for you, one of the qualities of Ferguson was always that he never looked at a player's age before giving him a chance. His mantra was if a player is ready, he's ready. Ryan Giggs made his debut for the club at the age of 17. Scholes, Beckham, they all played for the club in their teenagers. Why are you not playing Garnacho? Why are you not playing Garnacho? Just play him. You've got nothing to lose. Play a Zidane Iqbal, play a Charlie Savage. Because these non-performing players, if they're not good enough, you can't get them out of the club, get them out of the squad. Show them that they're hungrier players who are ready. And this is what Ten Hag has been good with Ajax. He backed the youth. He gave Matthias de Ligt his debut when he was 16, 17 years old. He was Ajax captain at 18. You know, Same with De Jong, Donny van der Beek. We keep forgetting these players are still just 22, 23 years old, molded by Ten Hag. Ten Hag should just take a risk, start playing these midfielders. I know that he's not going to do it for Liverpool, but at least for Liverpool, he should get Maguire out. I think he's been given a long enough role. He needs to be out. Varane needs to be in. Lindelof is a much more consistent defender, and with Varane besides him, he could do better. So I think those are my changes. Get Martinez as your defensive midfielder. Get Fred out. Keep Fred as an impact substitute if you have to. Keep Fernandes and Ericsson in front of you until the time you get replacements. Get a hungry forward. Get a Garnacho. Keeps running, 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 running. Get an Elanga. Get Bajebri. Get even for that matter, if you get Rashford and Sancho fighting for one position, it could still be like Rashford coming on as a substitute for Sancho is a much better team than both of them playing together as of this moment. So those are my changes for this week. But
Shweta, maybe
let's see.
the wrong questions here because, like, what I feel like if you as a United fan and if we as neutrals or as a opponent fans can see what changes are needed to be made, and these changes are still haven't been made by the manager, then the only thing that comes to my mind is that he hasn't been given the full reign here, like to implement his whole ideas. Like he has been said that you whatever you're trying to do, these are the players, these are the market players, you have to include them in your plans, otherwise you are not you will be not given the free rein. Because you can see in his transfer plan as well, you can see in his team selection as well. Like I was baffled that in against Bournemouth, if you against Brentford, they are facing they have Ivan Tony and Brian Mbeumo in front. They are known for their fast movement, and they're like winning second balls and all those things. And then you are playing them up and you are matching them up against Harry Maguire and Lisandro Martinez, where you have a 6'4" tall four-time Champions League winner in Rafael Varane sitting in the
Absolutely,
bench.
absolutely.
They
It's
are
baffling.
capable of doing this decision. So if you can
No,
see
you're
it in
you're
the
you're
yeah,
you're
God,
absolutely right, Rahul. You're absolutely right. I mean, this is just not these things. United's fall has got nothing to do with football, in my opinion. So, but again, we keep digressing because United has become such a big topic these days that all even the neutrals like you. I don't know why you call yourself a neutral. You're a hater. You're not a neutral at all. Okay, when it comes to United, so don't call yourself a neutral. So,
if I was a better, I would want United to at least finish in the Europa League places, because that way I can see the club not getting sold. And if as a neutral, I would suggest that the best thing that could happen to United is that they fall out of the European places this season. This can, accelerate the sale of the club. So this is what I'm saying.
Well, I too am hoping that and I think this is a request because we keep talking so much about United. This is a request to Sports Khabri. I think our listeners would also want to listen to a complete podcast dedicated on the fall of United, especially the last couple of weeks. So, guys, we might just come up with a podcast focusing on United's downfall because obviously all of us are so, and we would like to have more opinions, more people, more comments than that. And with that, we'll wrap up this session of our podcast. And to just tell you, we have an FPL league coming, going on. It's called Blood, Sweat, and Beers. It's there. It's running. It's exciting. We have a podcast dedicated completely on FPL. So for all these updates, just follow Sports Khabri on all the platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Follow the description for our links. There is a lot of more exciting stuff coming out of Sports Company. Please follow us and spread the word around. Let's just get involved with us. We are looking forward to your comments, your questions. If there's anything specific you want to ask our experts, if you want to be a part of our podcast, you think you can add something, especially our FPL players. People who are playing on our FPL. We are looking out for the league leaders to join us. Other people with improvements and all. There's a lot happening here. And soon we'll be doing a podcast completely based on the transfers which has happened this season. We'll be doing it somewhere around the deadline day so that we can also speculate on what is going to happen because deadline day is, I think, one of the most exciting days of the football calendar. So please keep us on the lookout and subscribe to Sports Coverage. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Aditya, for joining us. Thank you, Rahul Saha. And we hope to see you guys next week.